Hey guys, we are out today, kind of on like the pre-hike to get to where I want to hike. And oops, sorry about that. Kind of wanted to go over. So, when you're hiking, in the winter, what I do and what I think are like some good common practices and what you shouldn't do. For one, the reason to hike in the winter is because it's absolutely beautiful out. It is quiet, silent, other than me talking, and you get a different appreciation for the season of winter. You get to see a lot of cool tracks. You actually get to see where the animals are going and stuff, and it's just a different challenge. Another benefit, there's no mosquitoes, and you can pretty much walk anywhere that you want to and not fight thick underbrush. But downfalls, if you think you're going to go fast, like if you're used to walking 3 some mile an hour in the winter, prepare to do 2 something. The snow will slow you down, which brings me into making sure that you don't sweat. It's probably the biggest factor that will contribute to hypothermia, especially say on a day like today where it's, last I checked, it was right around 17 degrees. So it's really not that cold, but even so, under 40 degrees, sweating could potentially become an issue. So just make sure you slow down. Don't overly exert yourself if you're going up and down big terrain. Just take your time, because you really don't want to sweat. It will it'll cool you off pretty quick. Another one, a lot of people think you probably need a lot of gear to hike in the winter, and that is just not true. I just have my water bottle, a thicker pair of gloves, my balaclava, and some basic first aid, which you should always carry basic first aid anytime you go out, especially by yourself. Another thing that I like to include in my first aid is an ACE bandage. The big long elastic ACE bandages. It is real easy to hyperextend a knee or an ankle in the snow, and if you're going off trail, snow hides a lot of stuff that could be a tripping hazard, something you can fall on. You fall on your elbow, you slip on ice, and that's a good thing to have. I also always carry fire starter, just because. And another thing too, you may look out there and be like, oh, there's a ton of firewood laying on the ground. Well, if you don't want that, you want to get standing dead timber, and that's what you want to use for your firewood. Any tinder, it can be bark or the tops of any of these kind of plants. And if you're planning on having a fire, collect that stuff as you go along, because it's probably not going to be available when you get to where you want to camp. I know I touch on that a lot. In terms of your clothing, don't think that you need obviously dress for the weather conditions. If it's not going below 0, then you don't need full Arctic gear, but you want to be smart. Make sure your fabric is breathable, again, to help prevent sweat, but you do want it to be insulated. And don't be afraid if you feel yourself starting to get hot or overheated. Don't be afraid to take a coat or a hat off just for a short while. Cool yourself back down, dry out, and then keep going. And also don't give yourself a distance of how far you want to go, because so our path, as you can see, is trampled down by snowmobiles, but it's still hard to go on. And if I were out there, I'm going to move even slower. So it's not so much as how far you're going to go, it's more or less just getting out and enjoying it. So I hope that helps. Get out there and enjoy a winter hike. You'll find it very enjoyable.